Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is Carmine Sabia for Explain America, and this is the interview that is the talk of the political world right now. Before we get started, please make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Those little things really help us out, and they help our channel continue to grow. Guys, this is the talk of the internet. Kamala Harris, career over, career done, finished, vanquished, finute, and all because of her new book. She is burning every bridge you can think of with Joe Biden and the new Democrats, the old Democrats, Tim Walz, doesn't matter. She is a woman scorned, and she's taking out her vengeance one person at a time. But the person who says her career is over because of this book, that's the guy that's going to shock you. Now, this is a guy who has said maybe he would actually be the one to campaign for president in 2028. I don't think he can win because he's too reasonable. He's not crazy enough for them. He's not a left-wing ideologue. He's actually a person who, is like an old school liberal, a person who still believes in debate and free speech and free thought. That doesn't fit with the modern Democrat Party. But the person who said this, sports broadcaster and all around pop culture and current events commentator, Stephen A. Smith. I want you to listen to this and let me know what you think in the comments.
I do want to turn for a second, though, from somebody who is not censoring at all oneself. I'm talking about the former Vice President, Kamala Harris, because her new book, very blunt. I mean, she called Biden's decision to keep running reckless. She says she was disappointed with Tim Walz's debate performance, that she actually wanted Pete Buttigieg as VP, but didn't pick him because he'd be too risky, because he's a gay man. She claimed that Governor Newsom avoided her call, called Governor Shapiro too ambitious, accused Biden of distracting her right before the debate with Trump. I mean, I could go on. I do wonder what you think the end game is here. Does any of this help her party move forward now that she is being so open about how she really felt? Or is this something that is perhaps transparency that might cut off one's nose to spite someone's face?
I believe Kamala Harris's political career is over. I think you've seen the last of her with this book, politically. I'm quite sure she's a highly intelligent woman, very accomplished. She's a former state attorney general. She's a former senator. She's a former vice president of the United States, and obviously the Democratic nominee for the presidency of the United States in 2024. But this was the last straw, and I'm going to tell you why. Because although I'm certainly not an advocate of her diming out her boss and talking about whatever deficiencies he may have had, you could have said something. You could have done something other than what you did. And I don't want to hear about 107 days, and that's all you had. You know what 107 days gave you? It gave you the opportunity to take over the campaign and do it your way instead of capitulating to what his people wanted you to do and you doing whatever you thought was necessary under the realm or the guise of loyalty, and costing, and in some people's eyes, costing yourself the presidency. There are things that she could have done that was more effective. Don't get me started with her appearance on The View. Don't get me started with when Sonny Houston looked at her and said, is there anything that you would do differently than Joe Biden? And I can't think of anything. Nobody wants to hear that. When the country was in the state that it was in, and we knew that change was the order of the day, and you had a candidate that was not only using her rhetoric, her verbiage, and the lack thereof from him, but also was accusing her as hiding and engaging in his own definition of machismo or misogynism or whatever you want to call it, to point out how he was a man's man and he goes everywhere and he talks to everyone, while she was not willing to do that initially. And then you come out with a book in the aftermath of it all, and you've talked about Pete Buttigieg and, him being gay, or you talked about Josh Shapiro, the governor that I just interviewed the other day, and you talked about him being too eager for the vice presidency when he was clearly a better choice than Tim Walz, or you want to talk about Gavin Newsom now, but you wouldn't do it before. Nobody's trying to hear that now. That is a candidate that's on her way out the door, and I'm not saying I wish it. I've had the pleasure of meeting her once before. She is a very nice person, very accomplished. I respect her, but when I look at the excerpts from this book, it's too little, too late. And that's what this comes down to. As far as I am concerned, I believe, and I hope I'm wrong, but I believe her political career is over. The minute people buy them and read it with the stuff that she could have said and the stuff that she could have done, but refrained from doing, which obviously contributed to her losing the election. It's too little, too late. Are you in it to win it or not? She wasn't. And that is that.
Well, now I want to read the whole book and see how the context around the excerpts might answer some of the questions as to why now, why this, and why she's saying what she is saying. Stephen A. Smith.
Most people ain't gonna read the whole book. Most people ain't gonna read the whole book. They're gonna take the excerpts and
I'm
run
gonna
with
read the
it.
whole book.
I'm not saying they shouldn't. You should read the whole book. But there's a lot of people that's gonna take the excerpts and run from it and use it as a reason to dismiss anything that she's saying. So I hope the book is very, very successful for her, because that's what she's gonna have to fall back on in her wonderful life and all her accomplishments. But her future as a politician, I believe, is over.